Bonnie is so many things.
You know, she's a writer, she's a mother. People call her a legend.
Bonnie is the wisest person I have ever met. She's incredibly dedicated to everything she does.
She is the godmother of female cycling.
I'm the troublemaker. I came to cycling very late in my life. I was 57 when I started really take cycling seriously. In 2007, the giant founder, Mr. King Liu, he intended to go for a bicycle trip around the whole Taiwan. I thought that was a wonderful opportunity. I can accompany him.
Bonnie was going to do the tour of Taiwan at age 57.
And she was looking to find a bike.
Actually, I don't have my own bike, so I have to borrow a bike from the company.
But she has a not okay experience. Her jersey does not fit, and she did not have a proper bike.
He was riding a carbon TCR while I rode on an aluminum sports bike. That is the only bike that fit me. And I also have to wear a men's jersey. I start to wonder why there is no bike, quality-wise, the material-wise, as good as men's.
She's like, this is ridiculous. I am an executive in a bike company and I cannot find the things that are right for me. Something's wrong. Something needs to change.
It kind of just all of a sudden came on our radar like, whoa, why isn't there stuff designed for women? Because if she was experiencing it, no doubt women all around the world were experiencing it.
There was not a brand willing to devote to women. And she said, if they don't do it, I do it.
Why not? We start our own. Of course, I cannot do it just by myself.
Bonnie called me and said, could you come to my office? And I was intimidated. She is CFO, and what would she want from me? She asked me, I don't know how it will look like, but we want to create something for women. For me, stepping into a company, male-dominated sports industry, I said, yes, me, count me in, no matter what.
Before Leaf, I was in charge of women's products at Giant. There's a very few women in the company in that time. I had difficulties because nobody really supported me. So I told my boss, I quit. They sent Bonnie to me and say, she will be the one who understands you. When I talked to her about what the women's store should be, what the women's bike should be, she said, yes, that, of course. And she supported all my ideas.
She totally got it.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, there's always been this concept that I have to prove that I'm as good as a man. I'm the only child and the only daughter of the family. So my grandma always asked my father to get a second wife in order to bear him a son. Since I was very, very small, I have no other people to turn to. All these years, I try to prove to my parents, my relatives, that daughter is as good as a son.
My mission from Boni is to make the best bikes for women. Through our research, our women geometry, it proved that we just need to think about women's product from women's point of view. It's more about women's thinking.
A woman's bike is not take a man's bike and shrink it and pink it. No, women's bike is you base on women's geometry and design everything with women in your heart.
It was a very brave step for Boni. It was always going to be less profitable in those early days because of the sheer manufacturing costs of developing those bikes. If you're going to make a carbon bike, you need a completely different mold. Boni had to stand up there and defend why women deserve different bikes.
You need to make more research, more evidence to prove that you are correct, to convince those decision makers who are men.
It is very easy for them to say, ladies, you don't need women's specific bike, but we still need a bicycle that can fit us better.
Women back then never considered walking into a bike shop. Maybe 1 out of 20, and Boni want us to almost flip it.
So we started a bicycle shop for women.
How could we create a welcoming space for others, for ourselves?
We want to be the retail store that women feels comfortable to walk in. Tell people that you don't know how to ride a bike and we teach you. We bring you on board. Get away from very male-dominated retail that does not feel like the excitement or joy of cycling.
I remember it was a very interesting test. To my surprise, the Taipei women embraced it with all their heart. And that eventually changed the look of a bicycle shop worldwide.
Our goal expanded.
Australia, UK, America.
Every year, another different country.
There was a change and there was a demand. Cyclists wanted women's bikes and we were making them.
We then realized it's not just a bike brand that we're supporting.
It's really to bring other women into it.
Bringing every woman on board and empowering women globally.
Liv was intentionally looking to hire women to help educate women, and they were looking for essentially a demo driver. I was often the only woman at the large mountain bike festivals. When I would show up, you'd get, oh, you're the mechanic, you're gonna set me up on a bike. But ultimately, I think women were pretty pumped. They felt comfortable asking questions. You could start at square one with me. You don't know what this bike is? Let's talk about it. Or what are you here to do today? Like, where do you want to go ride? I remember hosting an event and there was 25 women at the bike shop. The manager's like, I've never seen this many women in my shop before. I'm like, exactly.
There's 1 year we're looking at the sports contract. How come there's no Asian pro cyclist? We decided to especially sign one.
With the bike industry, once you get out of like, it's always looked this way, or we've always done it this way, and you just have, but why?
Pro cyclists should not be defined as a white privileged sport. It should be everyone.
It's been 50 years since women were allowed to play sports in the United States of America. Only 50 years. When I look at professional cycling, which has been around for over a century, the structure and infrastructure were never built with women and other underrepresented populations in mind. When you go to races, you might see women in a physio or soigneur role, maybe even a chef role. It's very unlikely that you're going to see a woman in a team manager role or a team coach role or specifically a mechanic role. I get told that it's difficult to hire a woman because they can't find women with experience. Yeah, it's really hard to find women with experience, but if you don't give other people opportunities, you're just self-perpetuating this cycle of homogeny.
Bonnie is a total pioneer, and yet she's also created this opportunity for all these women to develop into leaders and decision makers within the bike industry. We're still in the early days of that, truly.
Bonnie saw an opportunity to invest in women, not just from the business side of things, but really because women weren't being served. What she has provided me is access and the ability to be part of the race community as a woman.
Few nerves on this start line. 154 riders. The Tour de France Femme Vic Swift.
The first year of the Tour de France Femme, Bonnie receives an invitation. If you're a sponsor, you get an invitation to do a ride.
So many people told me you can just start and then you pose at the end. No, that is definitely not me. I'm a person strongly believe in walk the talk.
From the get-go, Bonnie is serious.
This is actually very challenging. I was 72.
We start into the ride, and at one point she's like, no matter what, you have to let me finish this ride. It's been like, yes, you are. This is happening. A thing that I will never forget in all of my life was turning the corner and you're the last couple hundred meters, and she went for it.
Seeing this woman charge to the finish line, and we see these live banners all along the route.
People are banging on the barriers and cheering, and people say Bonnie.
Two professional riders come and just put their hand on Bonnie's back. She helped to get them there, and now they're helping to get her there.
She understands the importance of the Tour de France Femme. She cares. To watch her finish and to be able to be in that moment is all time, all time.
Bonnie's a rock star. She's a film star in the business world. She's riding 175K for her 75th birthday. She's a legend.
What kind of race is that? She is so inspiring. She always inspired me.
She's a rider, she's a mother, she's the chairperson of Giant Group. And she sees these ways of helping you to feel seen in the times. I think honestly that's what she wants, for women to feel seen.
Live, and the bicycle is really just the vehicle. It doesn't matter if you ride a Live bike. You are part of this community, and we want you to feel comfortable and confident being yourself.
People should be able to enjoy your life. That is one of the reasons I ride, because riding is such a joyful experience. The most important is not how fast you can ride or how good your skill is. It is, can you enjoy the ride?